Season 2 going to be coming to an end as we enter September with a sputtering out of control record of 54-92. Just trying not to eclipse 100 losses and embarrass ourselves yet again. We are taking on the Washington Nationals, another team like I mentioned previous. This is a team that we're going to be kind of measuring our success with. Mackenzie Gore, a guy that I've loved since he was drafted a few years ago, well, now more than a few years ago. 3.20 ERA, and that's going up, mister. First pitch, no doubt about it. Ezequiel Tovar wasting no time trying to get out of here with the victory. Jumps all over that first pitch and moving up to the leadoff spot against lefties proves a good decision here. 380, not the Corsian blast, but does just enough here in the nation's capital. Joe Rock doing all right. 4.08 ERA, 1.25 WHIP, and a walk rate under 8% in his first taste of big league action since being called up 2 months ago. Gives up a leadoff single to Nasim Nunez, a Rule 5 pick from a few seasons ago. This brings up Eddie Rosario with the runners on the corner. Michael Toglia getting down to a knee. He's not impressed so much for us in our few seasons here at Colorado, but what he has done is field well. Unfortunately, it's really a position that I really don't care who fields well or not. But hey, he's a good glove at first base. Jordan Beck, back-to-back episodes, we've seen him launch a baseball into the stands, as that is a big hit for Jordan Beck. Really coming along later in this season, finding his power stroke in the major leagues, and that's going to be huge if he wants to be a part of this team long term. Him and Zach Veen battling it out. Yohandri Morales into left field. Beck comes up firing, laser beam to the plate, and that's going to help your case even more. Hitting bombs and taking runs away is what you love to see. That's a 2-run day as far as I'm concerned by Jordan Beck. So 2 hits, 2 runs, and 4 hits for the Nationals. And just like he had a good defensive play earlier, a misstep here in left field, getting to it a little bit late, and a run will score all the way from first base as number 2 overall pick from a few seasons ago, Dylan Cruz, loving it at second base. 37 doubles for him. And I don't think we're going to see too many surefire number 1 picks like we saw him and Skeens a few years ago in the draft. What an absolutely loaded class. Chris Bryant's going to check his swing and go out sad here in the 4th inning. Mackenzie Gore picks up a big strikeout. Nolan Jones, deep into foul territory, launches a laser beam to first base. A Brooks Robinson-esque play over there at third base. Gandhi Morales this time won't hit one into the outfield. We'll watch that clip the outside corner. Mackenzie Gore against the Dale Amador, and Gore wins against Amador. How many ors can we say? Maybe some more, if you don't mind. All right, good pitching highlights. You don't see too many of those here, and both pitchers really dueling. And Luis Garcia has plans of changing that as he goes to right field and just over that 335 sign. Pulls it, ties the ball game at 2, and all of a sudden we have ourselves a brand new ball game. Joe Rock could not keep the lead for too much longer. Eddie Rosario is going to ground to Toglia, and they'll start another double play at Rosario's expense as he grounds it to Toglia yet again. 3-6-3 officially scoring that one. And gets up, gets a glove on it, stays with it, flips to Joe Rock, and just a cleat in time as Thomas was as there as you can be by still being out. Very close play, but that's going to do it for the 6th inning. Jordan Beck, full count. He's going to watch that one, clip the zone. Beautiful pitch on the backdoor slider, and no chase. Mackenzie Gore gets out of the jam there. Jake Woodford now, top 8. He's going to get Doyle to strike out. And some big pitching moments here in this game. Ryan Weathers finally back out there. He's going to dot the bottom of the zone. And this is so many strikeouts in this game. You just see how filthy this pitching has been. With all the big stuff we've seen. 2-2 game. 3-2 count. 2 outs. Nolan Jones, top 9. Jake Woodford still out there. And he should have been clutch Clutch home run by Nolan Jones. 3-2 count, 2 out. What an absolute bomb by Jones in the nation's capital. You're going to end up on a list saying that too loud. And this one is now all Rockies as they take the lead here in the 9th inning. Look at this baby go. 420, blaze it. Michael Toglia up next, and he's going to hit this one a long way, the other way. And we talked about he hasn't done much with the stick. Well, how about that? A little insurance for you, and just in case one run wasn't good enough. And there's his stirrups run all the way around the bases. That slurve back door. We've seen Rockies hitters flinch at that earlier in the game, and Toglia not flinching there. Chris Bryant, 2 for 2. Can we make it 3 in a row? Nope, he's going to have to ruin it. It's like the King Ghidorah meme where you have 2 fierce heads and 1 goofy head, and Chris Bryant playing the goofy. Justin Lawrence, again, an experience. Got his ERA down to just 6 flat. That's pretty cool. And with 3-2 count, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, he does his job, and Lane Thomas flies out. Rockies win. Don't get to see too many of those, and the Colorado Rockies avoid another loss to inch their way towards 100 defeats on the season. Actually, to do a pretty good job in this one. 4 solo home runs is all they needed, and that's all they could really muster. 1 other hit other than that. So really a all-or-nothing approach at the plate tonight, and it worked out beautifully. The other hit came by Chris Bryant, wouldn't you know, but everything else, 4 solo homers, 4 RBIs, and Joe Rock went 7 strong. Doesn't pick up the win, however. Luis Garcia, 3 hits. Dylan Cruz, 2 hits. Everybody else kind of scuffled. And Mackenzie Gore, 6 strikeouts through 7 innings. He was phenomenal as well. Last kind of update on the wild card and the standings. It's just kind of just where we're at. The National League Central still has some figuring out to do. The Phillies have already wrapped up the East. The Dodgers already wrapped up the West. And the Braves, Diamondbacks, and Marlins, Pirates, and Giants all fighting for the 3 wild card spots. Padres and Cardinals are there as well, and then Reds are kind of the first team out of it there. American League East, Orioles, Red Sox have been scuffling. They're on the outside looking in now. The Twins have had this division wrapped up since about mid-May. And the Astros, same thing with the American League East, as those 2 teams vying for 100 wins. Red Sox 2 games out. Mariners 3 games out. As we have the final game of the season, we have hit that 100-loss plateau, 58 and 103. As this is game 162. Diamondbacks have had their postseason wrapped up. This game really doesn't mean anything for them, just a tune-up. For us, it's about pride, and we won game 1, lost game 2, trying to finish the season off on a high note. Not many high notes in this season, I know. And an old friend of mine, personally, Eduardo Rodriguez, 3.31 ERA, whip at 1.3, and he has been just fine for the Diamondbacks. He gets Tovar swinging to begin the ball game with a strikeout. Rodriguez had some filthy stuff here today. Luckily for us, they keeping him kind of fresh for the playoffs. Only let him go about 4 innings today. Salvador goes to right field, drops in front of Corbin Carroll, and the first base runner comes on the second batter of the day for the Rockies. Jordan Beck with 2 outs, runner now on second base, and Beck is going to swing at that sinker. Wasn't a strike at any point, but it's a strike if you swing at it and you miss. So that's going to do it for the first inning. Tovar and Amador, our middle infield, upset. Dollander has had just about as good as a season I could have expected from him. Facing Major League hitting for the first time, doing just fine. Chris Bryant swinging as Dollander had a uneventful first inning, which you love to see. And Rodriguez pumping that one by Bryant as he just missed it. Looks like the timing was okay, he just couldn't connect. Fernandez has him in a box as he checks his swing, and that's in there for strike number 3. And for the 3rd time in this inning, Rodriguez is going to punch him out. Let it go to 93. Veen could not catch up to it. High by his eyeballs. And 3 strikeouts for Erod in that inning. Beautiful curve to end the second inning as another friend of mine, Alex Verdugo, former Red Sox, he goes down swinging, and Doyle's going to get caught here. Going on first movement, unfortunately for him, first movement was back to first base, so he's going to be cut out. Fernandez, for the second time today, can't decide if he wants to get the bat off his shoulders or not. He goes down. Drew Romo skies this one into center field. This will drop down and be the first run of the ball game, as both pitchers have been pretty good today. And that's the first run that either side has let up, and Drew Romo takes it for us. Zach Veen's going to watch that sinker, probably a little low, but close enough where the umpire can call it. And Drew Romo is going to be the hero of that inning as Rodriguez gets out, allowing just the one run. Ketel Marte is going to flare this one over to Jones, and impressive that he made contact with it. Unfortunately for him, he probably didn't want to, as that results in a twin killing. Tovar, lefty and a runner on base. This is where he excels the most, and he shows it off here. This one probably is going to get caught. No, it'll get down. I think that's Alec Thomas out there. Couldn't quite run it down, and Doyle with that speed to burn, going from second to home, and didn't leave until that ball touched ground. Tovar going to second all the way. And that will do it for Rodriguez. Again, not a bad showing, but playoffs coming around the corner. They're going to get Christian Mena out here to eat up some innings and not overexert Rodriguez. I like that plan. Jones is going to be safe at first base after a dive by Ketel Marte. Keeps the ball from going to the outfield. However, a run does score. It's 3-0 Colorado. Chris Bryant now facing Christian Mena. 1 for 2 on the day for Bryant. We did see that strikeout he had, and this one unfortunately lined right to Geraldo Perdomo at shortstop. So unlucky for him, and Drew Romo chops this one to first base, fielded by Christian Walker and sent on. So nothing happens of that inning other than that one hit by Tovar, and it's 3-0 Colorado in the middle of the 5th inning. Brenton Doyle's going to drop down this bunt. Look at this thing. Beautiful. Manuel Rivera has to pick it up. Maybe could have just let it go. That's a tough play to make, and if he airmails that throw, that is an unfortunate, probably run scoring. So probably would have just have him just watch that one roll. It probably would have been foul. If it's fair, then no chance he's getting Doyle anyway. So a beautiful base hit there. Nolan Jones going to dive for this ball that goes foul, and he'll have to be taken out of the game. So that's where Jones's season is going to end. Luckily for him, luckily for us, nothing big comes of that. That wasn't really anything to write home about, but he will miss the rest of the game. Jordan Beck will miss that ball in the outfield, and Corbin Carroll is going to get on for his 45th double of the season. And this is where Dollander's day kind of takes a turn for the worst. As two come across the score, Ketel Marte. There was a graphic before that pitch that showed that he was hitting like 340, 350, 360 against the Rockies, and having a really good game every time he has to play the purple and black. Beck comes up firing, can't repeat what he did in the Nationals game, and that is going to be it. That lead is gone, and we are now trailing. And who else? Christian Walker, this motherfucker, just keeps beating us. Dollander takes a seat. Riley Pint grabs the ball, and he is going to get Verdugo out right there. Only took him 3 pitches, and he does the job. So 4 come across the score in that 6th as Dollander now takes a pretty good game and wastes it all away. But Ezequiel Tovar got his back. I know if no one got me, Ezequiel Tovar got me. Another lefty that he has abused in this game, on this day that you're seeing, this episode that you're seeing of the Colorado Rockies, and Tovar, his 16th big fly of the season. Both of these coming away from Coors Field. And this one, 389. And that scores a couple. And Justin Lawrence to close things out for us. Verdugo goes down looking. And 1-2 count. Lourdes Gurriel will strike out swinging. And that will be the season 2025 wrapped up with a pretty little bow. And that will do it. So the Rockies end off the season on a high note. Started the season in Korea, where they picked up a win against the Dodgers, and ended in Arizona, where they win against the Diamondbacks. 11 hits, 6 runs for us. Dollander was really good until he wasn't. The bullpen came in and shut everything down. Rodriguez getting a little tune-up, and Kyle Nelson really the loser there. Here is the Double-A playoffs. Our Hartford Yard Goats got into the big dance, and this is a plate appearance of Sterling Thompson, as with a 2-1 lead, it's the Yard Goats against the Portland Sea Dogs for the Double-A championship here, or the Eastern League, I believe is what it's called, and Thompson can't come through there as we move on to his next plate appearance here in the top of the ninth. 0 for 3 on the day, bases loaded, trying to extend the Yard Goats lead, and he will. This one won't fall down for a hit, but it's deep enough to advance the runner as this one gets just in front of the warning track. Runner on second base also moves to third base, and that will do it for this one, as that's just enough to keep the Sea Dogs off of it. Wagner hit a sac fly as well, and here we go. Top of the ninth here in the decisive winner-take-all game, and Nick Mears is on the mound, a starter, but with just so much talent, we put him in the bullpen. Thompson over to get it. That is out number 1. The Yard Goats all season really led by that big three of Bobby White, Alex Hardesty, and J.J. Rose, have put on some impressive numbers. Ralphie Velasquez is down here as well. Max Wagner, a guy we got at the trade deadline over here. Thompson has been here. Most of our top prospects have been down here. Benny Montgomery ended up coming down here later towards the season after scuffling in AAA. So all of the guys we've been talking about being a part of this future, they've all been here. This is our deepest, most promising level of our organization, other than the major leagues, is Double-A. And a lot of these guys in this game are going to be doing this in the postseason in Colorado. As Thompson, another chance, and he puts it away for out number 2. So really, if you love prospects and you love, where the future of this franchise is heading, this is where you want to be. Big hit by Gonzalez as Montgomery can't track it down. However, does get to it quickly, and Gonzalez will just be there on a double. As Mears trying to close this one down. He's been pretty efficient for the Yard Goats so far this year, as we're going to get some Omar Cannon going in the bullpen. Another guy that we drafted who is awesome. He's been coming out of the bullpen and been shoving. I think he has an ERA sub 2.6 in his time in the bullpen. Mears, big looping curveball in there for strike 2. 1 strike away and moving on to the Double-A championship game. On the ground, Guerrero picks it up at second base, fires to first, and the Yard Goats are your Eastern League champions for 2025. After both of our minor league affiliates did not make the playoffs last year, the Double-A team, infused with so much talent, and of our first year draft, they come across and win. Congratulations to those guys. And we take down the Sea Dogs of the Boston Red Sox organization. That's a pretty big win for us. Fast forward here, top 11, Guerrero working on a cycle as he has a home run, a double, and a single. Big ballpark, as it's the Richmond Flying Squirrels, Double-A affiliate of the San Francisco Giants, in a one-game winner-take-all Double-A championship. Guerrero trying to be the hero here in the top of the ninth inning. Avila starts him off with 2 balls inside. Guerrero's had a phenomenal past 2 seasons, someone that we're going to be looking to try to call up with his versatility. I think his stick and play today. He flies out, and that will be the first out of the 11th inning. Still no winner here in the 13th, as Guerrero back up again. Still looking for a triple for the cycle. Over to second base, flip to second. And that will do it. And it looks like the Flying Squirrels are going to come away victorious in the 13th. So So AA season was fantastic, and while we check on it, let's check in on some stats leaders. So here are what we have for top players in AA all season. Hunter Goodman was great. He got hurt at the end, but he was absolutely phenomenal for us. Juan Guerrero really tapping into the power, leading the team with 18 home runs. And we just talked about his versatility is going to push him to potentially get on to the team. Manny Montgomery was sent down in AA, but did play well, so he's really conquered AA. Just have to really see if he can play against AAA pitching. Velasquez and Thompson had solid seasons, but still I think would need some year work. We were thinking about Thompson potentially breaking the major leagues at some point this season, but he just truthfully never did. On the pitching side of things, a lot of our pitchers were fantastic. White finished strong, Rose was impressive down the stretch, and Omar Cannon, like we mentioned in the game, was really good out of the bullpen. Alex Hardesty, he couldn't really find his footing at an ERA over 5.5 to end things. And Charlie Soto, who we got in the Ryan McMahon trade, I believe, in the offseason, he was great from start to finish. Really, at 19 years old, too, he really impressed me. And a guy that he can try to find his way into our lineup and our plans if he has a good season like that. So more from him would be fantastic. And overall, there's a reason why this team was in the AA championship. In AAA, Jax Biggers was on fire before he got hurt. And Jamison Hanna, he could potentially be pushing for that fourth outfield spot. He was incredible again here. It was a chance for him being called up earlier last season, but he got hurt, and then we went in a different direction with Jordan Beck and just decided to bring him up, even though he didn't have a fantastic season. But Hanna, he really looked great. Grant Levine, another notable, handled AAA well, was absolutely killing AA. Moved to AAA, we did not see too much of a decline in those at-bats. So he could potentially be your first baseman potentially next year. He's going to definitely maybe get a chance depending on what we do in the offseason, but first base by no means is solidified. Chris Bryant, Bobby Dahlbeck, and Michael Tolia are our options right now. So if Levine can come in and play well, then he definitely has a chance to take that spot. Warming Burnable still not wowing, really. He just hasn't done what I thought he was going to do. And that is a little bit disappointing because we have high expectations for him. Pitching-wise, he basically got all the good pitchers from there at some point, ended up in the major league. So really it was guys who were scuffling or guys who just aren't quite ready. So nothing really to note on the starting pitcher point. None of those guys we really see as, okay, this guy 100% is going to be in our plans or not. So not really much to discuss there. But we had some good reliever seasons. Some guys who could potentially be pushing for playing time if we just decided to call them up. Kind of coin tosses there. Ethan Hankins made it up to AAA. He was okay, but got hurt down the stretch. So our players of the year in our minor league system, our pitcher of the year is going to go to Bobby White, the number 3 overall pick from last season. He is going to get the pitcher of the year for us. And Jax Biggers, a fantastic year at the plate, kind of pushed himself maybe to get a bench role next season. He is going to be our minor league hitter of the year. Before we wrap things up, let's check on the major league stats, and you'll see the stats and the award winners flash on your screen. Jones had a career year, a career high in home runs, and Youngkeel Fernandez pushed him and had 31 home runs, almost 100 RBI for him. But that was really it. He hit dingers, meaning he hit a lot of them, and that was kind of it. He didn't really do anything much else. Bounce back here from Tovar. He was a guy that at the very beginning when I got here, he was him and Jones. I looked at immediately and said, we want these guys around. Last year was awful. This year was great. And so now we have an okay first year, a bad second year, and a very good third year. That fourth year is going to kind of dictate what we want to do with Ezequiel Tovar. I love his glove, But we just need some more with his bat. Can hit lefties, we know that. But what is he going to do over an extended period of time? If he can get one more good season under his belt, I'd love to see if we can extend him. Adael Amador, Zach Veen, Jordan Beck, those were our three big prospects that we ended up having up with us at some point this year. And they were Each had highs, each had lows, but neither of them. Amador is going to get the benefit of the doubt being a top prospect and a guy we think is going to be really, really good. But Veen and Beck, if they have great years, cool. If they don't, cool. I mean, neither of them have solidified that they have earned that spot. We're going to go in the offseason trying to find some competition there. But if they can't get together, then they might not really have a role on this team. And that's just what it is. Again, they had some moments. You had some home runs by Beck towards the end there. Veen was a more consistent average hitter, but we'll see. On the pitching front, Dollander was a workhorse. He made every start. He did not get injured. He had a great innings count for us, and he ended up doing extraordinarily well for a rookie. And that's exactly what I love to see. Just, again, a guy you can pencil in every fifth day, and he gave you over 170 innings and did a good job. Bubic was decent. Sensatello had a great season, those two guys. Everybody else fucking sucked. Joe Rock was good in limited time for the time we got to see him. And Sixto Sanchez was hit or miss. Everyone else just blows. I mean, it's what it is. Pitching in this organization is just what it is. You can be a good pitcher and have a down season because you're playing at Coors Field, and just what it is. But we need some more horses there, and we're moving on to season 2. And we're definitely going to see what the offseason brings. I'm definitely excited to see if some of these guys who we drafted last year are going to make camp. The guys we drafted this year, can they surprise us and break out in season number 3? Who knows, but you'll have to sit and wait to find out. We appreciate you joining us. We appreciate you Rockies fans sticking with us so thick and thin. This will not continue much longer. I can guarantee you that. And hopefully winning will come pretty shortly. And we have a big off season ahead, so we will see you for that. And Godspeed, everybody.